What do you think, though, that the new normal is going to be for your entire industry? Because I would assume, as a comedian, as an entertainer, you do stand up, you get your energy, you get your content from actually being around people.
Yeah.
What happens if that, like, what do you see as some alterations, whether they be good, right? Positive, like, oh, I could see some positive things, more online stuff, more ways for people to break into the industry. But what are some things that wouldn't necessarily be so good?
Live performances. And like, this is like, for me, this is, I'm telling you, when I say perspectives and changes my way of thinking, I've been, in the comedy circuit, people call me a road rat. All my money, 90% of the money that I make is through live performances. I don't make, although I get small parts in movies and TV stuff, it wouldn't come close to supporting my family and, you know, lifestyle that I lead, you know, like, but it's making me shift my thoughts on how to make money. And it's so funny, me being an older comic, and I don't have this issue, but a lot of older comedians, like, they despise, like, the word internet comedian. To them, it's like, they corny, they on the internet, they make jokes on the internet. Now them little young millennials are looking at them old dudes like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, exactly. We had a head start. Look at you now.
Yeah, got a head start. But it's putting things in perspective. And as though, like right now, I'm really an unemployed comedian as we speak. If you look at it, and I got some more news today that I don't know how factual it is that they don't expect like major live concerts until like fall of 2021. I
saw that with the Shade Room announced it. I don't know where the actual
but that's right. It was one writer from Pennsylvania, so it's somebody that found some clickbait words to get people like worried or whatever. But with that said, like right now, everybody's like, what am I gonna do? They don't anticipate this like loosening up in for a while, or at least 3 months. So me personally, like, I'm going hard with my production, different things that I try to involve myself with. I'm really putting my foot into the podcast world. I was lucky enough to start 3 months ago, and since I started with 100 subscribers, I'm up to 300, not 300, I mean 30,000 subscribers. But I see how that could possibly give me some monetary compensation, like really soon.
Right, soon.
Where I would put the energy on live performances because it was easy. Now I gotta figure out, what do you do now? I can't quit.
So you have to, you're being forced into, I mean, I think that this is what this is showing us, right? This entire global pandemic is the ways in which certain industries need to innovate, right? Like what does forced innovation look like? I love to come up with ideas and new concepts and new shows and all of these things, but this is a sense of forced innovation.
You know, it's so funny you said it, because I had a conversation with is going to be a business partner of mine in terms of entering the cosmetic world or whatever. And then I was like, and then like when I was talking to her, I talked for like 20 minutes, right? And then once that conversation, did I hear, what am I going to do? Oh, this is crazy. Nobody wants to buy anything, everything. It was all positive. You know what I mean? It was all like, what's the next thing to do? And I said, maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm weird, but through this pandemic, I got a burst of ideas. I feel more creative. I feel more inspired. I feel more motivated. I know part of that is because I'm forced to do it. But when things like this happen, you know, some people come out winning in a situation like this.
Yep.
Some people say, okay, I figured it out. You know, some people like, I know I've been a good stand-up comic for most part of my career. So I didn't have to force myself to be a good entrepreneur. Anybody say they're an entrepreneur. You get your first business card, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm the CEO of nothing. You know what I'm saying? But now.
So you've seen my older business cards.
No. I remember when I got my first business card, I put vice president, share owner. I put all type, and I couldn't wait to give out them goddamn them business cards.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's like, and I've always had a entrepreneur spirit, but never was forced to exercise it like with the sense of urgency that I have right now. And it's not desperate. It's like just, yo, you could do this, but you haven't been doing it because you've been lucky enough to have a full calendar. Like I've had a full calendar. So, you know, I didn't know I was taking advantage. I was like, man, I'm good. I look at my calendar. I'm like, oh, I got 3 weekends I'm working. 2 weekends is work, and never thought about anything. And this is going to teach me, like, what happens if something like this happens again? What am I going to do? What am I going to do for my family? And it's making me creative. And as they say on the street, I'm on a nut right now on how I can really show Donnell Rawlings, the business person.
And do you feel like, are you in a comedic circle and set where you offer advice because you've been in the game so long? Like, are there comics right now that you know, but they may not be as seasoned as you are, that are thinking about giving up and, just throwing their hands up because they don't know how to, like, they don't know where their place is?
Yeah, those type of people aren't my friend. And those people that think about giving up, my advice with them would be to them is to give up. You know what I'm saying? Because, this is this business is a tough business. You know what I'm saying? This business is probably 75% of your career being broke, at 25% where it makes sense to you. This business is filled with no's. This business is, you're not good enough. You're too old. You're not funny anymore. You're not relevant. It's all that. So if you can't weather the storm of any of that, it's not a good business to be in. There's a young guy. I don't really try to mentor comics. I just try to lead by example. You know what I'm saying? Because I did that in the past, and it comes down to you help somebody and you see them get success and you see them get popularity, you see them get money, whatever. And a lot of times they don't even say thank you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times they just take for granted what you were they like. And when you do that, you don't do it for people to say that to you. But at the same time, it feels good. You know what I mean? It feels good when somebody says, yo, I appreciate you in my life. It feels good. Everybody want to get it. So I kind of fall back on it. I give you a quick example, especially when it comes to youngins nowadays. A couple years ago, my management company, we like in the business, like if you have a roster of clients, you barter stuff. So my manager had this young comic on his roster. He wanted me to let him open for me. And I said, okay. And the young dude was like, I think he's more of an actor than a comedian. But he was all happy. He was like, Donnell, OG, GOAT. GOAT is a new word for old.
Right.
OG, GOAT, and legends. No. Like, oh, nigga, you old ass.
Oh, great.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Yo, when they hit you with the doubles, this dude called me an OG GOAT legend. I was like, am I about to die, son? Right? He said, GOAT. He said, what up, GOAT, OG legend? He said, if you, where my camera at? I got to figure it out. I need to know that. He said, if you could give a young comic one piece of advice, what would it be? And he's looking at me like this is going to change my life, right? And I said, don't ask for advice. There's no shortcuts. Everything that you're going to learn in stand-up is going to come from doing stand-up. Let the microphone be your teacher, right? He was like this, OG legend, man. Thank you, man. I hear you, right? A year later, same comedian, same comedy club, comes up to me after his show and says, I couldn't believe this what the fuck he was about to. He said, hey, OG legend, if you had one piece of advice to give a young comic coming up, what would it be? I said, you don't listen to advice.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but that's someone that they don't really want the advice. They just want to just be a part of that comic, just want to be able to say, yeah, I asked him this. You know what I mean? I'm going to put this on my resume. And at the end of the day, specific to my profession, you get good by doing it. It's like a muscle memory. You know, like the more you do it, the more you can retain it, the more things are easy for you, the more comfortable you are dealing with hecklers, the more comfortable you are coming up with materials, the more comfortable you are when a joke is not working, not panicking and staying in the pocket till you get them back. That you it's really no way to teach that. That's learned behavior and that's experience. And that's what a lot of people try to duck is experience.
I think that they try and duck the learning just in general, right? Like if you can skate on somebody else's coattails, if you can skate on everybody else's coattails, right? Then you don't have to find your own coat.
But everybody, and you know what? I'm not mad at a shortcut. Everybody wants the shortcut, but you have to be able to listen to wisdom to understand the shortcut. You know what I mean? Okay, take your shortcuts, but mentally be prepared for the long run. I've been doing this for 26 years, right? And people come up to me all the time, and they're like, man, they always compare me to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And they compare like, man, so-and-so ain't that funny. You should be so-and-so. Man, I don't know why that person got that job. You should have that job. You know what I'm saying? And I never rush it. When I was younger, and I used to be like, you right, that nigga ain't funny. Right? Then I was like, yep. I said to myself, that's not helping you.
Yep.
You wasting energy on that. That's not helping you. And I say that I always look at a lot of people's career, the tortoise and the hare. The hare just runs circle, wham, wham, wham. Mm-hmm. That tortoise is just going, boom, one step at a time, one step at a time. He's enjoying it. He's not mocking anybody, and he's just enjoying it. And eventually he's going to cross the finish line, and you never know when that's going to happen. But you got to be in the game.
I love that so much, that you have to be in the game, because otherwise you can't win. And I think that, you know, people also take too much time paying attention to too many people's material successes and think that that's what success looks like, when in fact, right? Yeah, we're all inside right now. Sure, you could be inside your mansion and that's where you're quarantining, or you could be quarantined in your apartment, or you may not even be blessed enough to have a space to be quarantining in. But I think what this shows you is that anything could be taken away at any time.
That, but like you say, like, you know what? Being quarantined in a mansion in a small spot or whatever, it don't make no difference if you ain't got the love around you. That 20,000 square foot could just be as empty as anything. You know, and one of the things that and people always say, the question is, like me, because I'm a microphone fiend. I do thousands and thousands of shows. And it's like this, oh my God, it's got to be tough for you not to do live performances. I know it's got to be driving you crazy. And it would normally drive me crazy, but I haven't really thought about it as much because I get more time with my son.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like.
Because you're not on the road, right?
I'm giving up that time.
Yeah.
I'm giving up that time. And I'm like, what's taking up that time? What's taking up me doing media in a city to promote a show in the morning? Him. What's taking up my time, with my road dogs, going to dinner? Him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it hasn't really affected me, my sanity like that. I know it's probably going to, at some point, like, damn it, I need to get on stage. But right now, the trade-off is well worth it for me.